Okay, so I just wanted to start this video by saying thanks to everyone who's contacted me about being concerned about litigation, and yeah, it is a concern, but you know, at the end of the day, nobody's redacted my name for the false information, so I'm just returning the favour. But I do genuinely appreciate it, so thank you. So I just wanted to finish off the stuff around the first reference. So hopefully I'm going to do the first reference, the second reference, and then the application bit, and go through that. So the Reg 40 notification being the in my personal opinion, being the reason for the negative reference. So their inspector, because obviously I raised a notification, I contacted the inspector, and they removed me from the group. So that was that really. I didn't think I'd be able to keep working there anyway, because I've seen the way things, there was some issue about not taking shoes off previously, and just the hostility around it was uncomfortable. So basically their inspector said, and I'll read it verbatim so I haven't got it wrong, and this is what was sent to the inspector doing my registration. So I don't know word for word what their inspector said. I only know what my inspector wrote in her records for part of the registration, then in turn for the tribunal. So she's got AS, which is Alison Snell, which is their inspector, shared the following. AS's view is that JT, which is me, blew the issue out of proportion. She did not discuss her concerns with directors. She went ahead and sent the Reg 40. She used that situation as a reason to leave. She was not getting on with the RM and director, who are mother and son. Admittedly, it was a difficult dynamic to manage with the issues with mother and son. JT would say she was pushed out. She made it clear she was setting up her own business and she wanted to pick their brains. She would turn up late or not turn up at all. The Reg 40 was explored at length at inspection and no shortfalls were found from the provider. So just to go over that briefly. So blew the issue out of proportion. I think a child being at risk and a member of staff being at risk, I don't believe that was out of proportion. That's my belief. She did not discuss the concerns with the directors. My WhatsApp messages show a back and forth with me and the directors discussing this very issue, so that clearly is not the case. She went ahead and sent the Reg 40 notification. Yes, I did. She used that situation as a reason to leave. I'd already said that I was leaving. I'd already told them the reason I was leaving. I didn't use, it's the UK, you can leave when you want to leave. I didn't need a reason to leave. I was already leaving. She was not getting on with the RM and the director. There were no issues with us. When I post the WhatsApp messages, you'll see right up till then, they were chatting backwards and forwards to me. There was no, I was supposed to attend there 1 day a week. It was not a set day, and I was at uni the other 2 days. So there were certain days that when they're saying I didn't show up, I actually said, can someone summons them to court? I asked the judge to summons them to court to say what days did not turn up. Nobody would respond. Ofsted didn't respond. The tribunal wouldn't summons them. So they accused me of things I couldn't then respond to. So I didn't need a reason. She'll say she was pushed out. I wasn't pushed out. I don't believe I was pushed out. I said that I would be leaving. I found somebody else to take over the RI role. I know it's illegal. You cannot just leave as an RI. And what the director, what Daniel said was, don't ask anyone at the moment because he may well step into that position. So there was no antagonising or anything like that. No issues. They were not annoyed with me for wanting to leave or anything like that. And my understanding was Daniel was going to take it over anyway, so it would save them money. She made it clear she was setting up her own business. I did. What I didn't make clear was that it was pretty much done. I left in the October and I put my application a few weeks after that. I could not have done it from scratch in a few weeks. She wanted to pick their brains. No, I don't know what I would pick their brains for. Their policies and procedures they had, and Irene actually said to me, if you need any paperwork, just help yourself. She literally said that to me. But those policies and procedures were bought from their previous role, because some of the policies and procedures still had the previous home's details in them. So they didn't do those themselves. I'd already done my own already. Though theirs were very good. Their paperwork was excellent. Irene does excellent paperwork. I can't lie about that. The way her files are made up I like good paperwork. They were brilliant. She would turn up late or not turn up at all. That's not the case. If I turned up late, they would not have paid me. I was paid per visit. I wasn't paid a salary and paid regardless. I was paid per visit. The only time they didn't pay me was when I raised the Reg 40 notification. They didn't pay me then, and to date they've never paid me for that week. But I was there that week because that's how I heard the member of staff whistle blow, and they refused to pay me for that. The Reg 40 was explored at length at inspection. No shortfalls were found from the provider. I don't really know who it was explored with. I did the notification. Nobody spoke to me about it. I'd messaged the inspector the following morning. To date, she never responded. I'm not aware that they spoke to the member of staff who whistle blew. I don't know who it was explored with, if it was explored at length, don't know. That's there, you should keep it. Statutory. This is Claude Code warning me about this, that and the other. Okay. Miss supervisions. I've got the supervision notes. So the thing that they're saying, I miss supervisions and meetings. So I asked them, can you please let me know which supervisions, which meetings that I've missed? They refused to answer. They refused to respond to me whatsoever. The trial judge on the telephone call, when I said, can you summons them so they do come and tell me what I'm supposed to have done so I can defend it, he had said to me, contact Ofsted, because they may be bringing them as witnesses, and if they bring them as witnesses you can just ask them. So I contacted Ofsted and Ofsted just didn't respond at all. I contacted them directly. What did I miss? What did I? Nobody. I didn't miss anything. Missed supervisions in the plural. There was one supervision I missed when I thought I had COVID. I made sure I contacted Irene. I've got the WhatsApp messages because I do everything by WhatsApp. And she says, no, take as much time as you want. I was giving it the couple of days and then I was retesting. And then I said, if it's positive, I won't come. If it isn't positive, then I will come in. And that's what I did. One of the supervisions was missed by Irene. And in the WhatsApp message, she actually says, sorry, I can't make it. You know, I've got an 8-month-old, blah, 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 blah. But again, that's in the WhatsApp messages. So supervisions, so they were registered in the August. There was no supervision that month. It was getting everybody in, getting procedures in place, and I was there more than I needed to even be. They paid me for one. They paid me they paid me once a week, regardless of whether I came in. I had to come in to sign things, various things. They never paid me any extra. I never asked for any either. I just might add that. I did their training because I'm a training provider. I do training. I'm a trainer. I did their training, their safeguarding training for free. I'll come to that in a minute. So August, September. I left in October. So there was no supervision in August. I've got the supervision notes for the September. I left in October. So I missed supervisions. There weren't supervisions to miss. I caught up with Irene like on an ongoing, you know, if there were issues. Like I said, I was at uni a couple of days a week. So there was a safeguarding issue on an occasion, for example, because I was the DSL. And they called me because it was just notifying me. I didn't have to do anything. It was just notifying me. And they called me. I was at uni that day. Came out of class, answered, responded, and they said it was just a notification, and they followed it up in writing afterwards, and that was it. So I wasn't paid for any other time, but I was always available. So, and that was just our understanding. It was not a problem. So they weren't getting on with me, but we've got here there's the training notes. I'll find it, but it basically says, the director basically says, again, it's in WhatsApp messages, so I'll post those, that he'd done training with them. They enjoyed the training more with me. He appreciated that I'd done the training for them. He was thanking me and saying it was great how I was interacting with the staff, blah, 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 blah. I only ever had positive feedback from the manager or the director, nothing negative. And I don't think they realise how unpleasant it was to raise a notification with people that I generally get on with. But I tried to explain to them, it's not personal. Is that not the job you've employed me to do? I'm trying to cover their back as well as my own back. They're not interested in covering theirs. I am still interested in covering mine. And apart from that, it's just not safe. And I'm not going to mention the lady's name who whistle blew, but I raised the Reg 40 notification based on the member of staff and the child being at risk. I'm a driver. I know that is a risk. They basically said it wasn't a medical condition. And again, this is in the WhatsApp messages, and I will post them all. I just want to make sure I've redacted the child and the member of staff who whistle blew. I just want to take their details out of it, and I'll post those. I couldn't catch up with the lady at the time, and I may have said that in another video, but her statement now says that when she drove over and took the child, her anxiety was that bad she couldn't drive back, and she was made to do training. Well, I say made to. The RM told her to do training while she was there, so it didn't waste time. I don't really think that was appropriate either. But again, I wasn't told about that, or I would have addressed that at the time as well. So we would have been maybe not getting on about various things, but surely that's the role that you employed me to do. So I think that's all the stuff from there. And then when I do the application, I'll see how that fitted in. So there's nothing. I'm just trying to make sure I do this verbatim, I don't miss anything out. Right, okay. Yeah, so that's that. I think I've finished with Coven altogether now. I can always do something supplementary if I have to come back, but that's it. And I'll post the WhatsApp messages when I've been able to redact those bits for the member of staff and obviously remove. It's only the child's first name, but I'm going to remove that anyway because obviously that's not acceptable to include in there. Okay, thanks. I'm going to go on to Mr. Newman now.